Hi, this is Pat Duckworth, the author of Hot Women Rock, How to Discover Your Midlife Entrepreneurial Mojo. And I'm traveling the world while I'm sitting in my kitchen talking to all these amazing entrepreneurs. My guest today, I'm just so excited, is a master publicity strategist and consultant. She's a best-selling author and international public speaker. With over 200 speaking engagements each year, she consistently wows audiences worldwide with her entertaining and interactive keynote presentations, seminars, and training programs. I can definitely say that that's true, having just spent some time in Las Vegas and hearing her speaking there. And she talks about publicity, networking, and influence marketing. She shared her powerful networking and publicity strategies on stages with some amazing people: Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Laurel Langemeier, and many others. And over the past 25 years, she's worked with ABC, NBC, CBS, and other national and international media as a highly regarded publicity expert. She's been featured in the New York Times, Women's Day, Fortune Small Business, Entrepreneur, and lots of other magazines. I could just sing her praises for the next 20 minutes, but then we wouldn't have any time to speak to her. So it's a big welcome to Jill Lublin. Hi, Jill, how are you?
Hey, Pat, great to be here with you. Thank you.
We had such fun in Las Vegas.
It was so much fun. Great seeing you on stage. You just rocked it, girl. And it was just wonderful to be with you and play with you there too.
Thank you. And your presentation, I mean, there's the fun, there's the content, you know, it's all good. So thank you very much for sharing all of that.
It's a pleasure.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. You're now this amazing publicity expert and PR person. How did you start out, Jill?
Well, I actually started my career in the music business and helped music, actually bands, and then I started working for independent record labels and started as the director of promotion and publicity there. And then it just kind of kept going until one day I got the opportunity to write this book, Guerrilla Publicity. That was exciting. And you know, frankly, did good publicity on it and just kept it all going. And now I get to help entrepreneurs and speakers, consultants, coaches, and authors to small business owners to get your word out. And I love doing that. And I love supporting people to create more visibility. But that's really where it started. And now I teach publicity courses. I help people get book deals, and I help self-published authors get foreign rights deals. So it's grown just as we all do.
Yeah, and that's what I find in a lot of these conversations is this kind of business evolution. So what was it initially that attracted you into the music industry? Were you in New York then, because you're a native New Yorker?
No, I was actually in San Francisco, and I was in law school, and I hated law school. So I kept trying to think, well, what could I do that's interesting and fun? And music business, and I'm much more creative. That really drew me. And I was very lucky to work for one of the biggest rock and roll promoters named Bill Graham and work for his company. Was a real honor. And I got to do some of that. And that just really started leading me down my path into the area of promotion and publicity.
Fantastic. And, you know, you said you wrote your first book, Guerrilla Publicity. So was that a whole different thing for you to become an author yourself, or was that something you were drawn to?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was actually running a public relations agency. So I had a PR agency, and I got, you know, tapped on the shoulder, as I like to call it, by a literary agent to write a book with J. Conrad Levinson, who's very well known in the guerrilla marketing world. He's the father of guerrilla marketing. And they asked, would you write a book on publicity? Because that's what I'm an expert on. So Guerrilla Publicity was born. And then, of course, I know how to do publicity. And my next book got born, Networking Magic. And then my next book on referrals called Get Noticed, Get Referrals. And now my newest book called The Profit of Kindness has just come out. So It's one of the things about success is as things start rolling, you got to just kind of roll with it, right? You created
Yeah.
numbers of books yourself. You know this concept. Once one starts, and this is for every business owner, once you create a success, you just got to leverage it, roll on it, and keep going.
So what do you feel it is that a book does for a business? I mean, I can see in your particular business, you're kind of living, you're walking the walk, you're showing how it's done and you're telling people how it's done. But for other businesses, what is it you feel that, writing the book and getting it out there does for the business?
Well, and again, this is not for every business. This is not, you don't need to have a book in every business. Really what you need to have is a great message. What I love about books is the opportunity for it to spread your message. And, I've helped real estate people create manuals. I've helped chiropractors create how to release stress. It can be just simple, like, small books. It doesn't have to be big books. But I am a big believer in what I might call a leave behind. Like, what are you going to leave your client with that they can take with them? So in my case, they can buy books, right? And that's a beautiful thing. So I think it's great for a business, no matter who you are, to have something that they're going to leave behind, that your customers can leave with, your prospects can have to refer to. So it might be even an article, but you've got to have something that they can refer to, a blog post, whatever's appropriate for your business. You do need a reference point, I like to call it.
And when did you start doing stage presentations?
I think it was actually when I owned my public relations agency. And I thought, well, how do I create more prospects? How do I get my word out? Just like I was helping people to do. And so speaking on stage became a next evolution for me. And then I got on stage and I went, oh, I really like this. And became more a professional speaker, which, a lot of my business is now. Speaking in corporations, speaking on stages. And then people take my publicity course and they become my clients, and that's all wonderful and it all feeds each other. But even like with the new book, Profit of Kindness, that's more corporate speaking. It's more dealing with teams. So it's a little different than the entrepreneur that I've been typically working with. And, different phases. And I think as a business owner, you have to be flexible and know what works next in the marketplace. Like, here's a great example, Pat. I had a public relations agency and, that was wonderful. And then the economy changed. And I actually wanted to really help entrepreneurs and small business owners. That's where my heart lies, and frankly, they couldn't necessarily afford a big PR company's fees at $5,000 a month, which is what I charged, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I rechanneled my programs. So now I do publicity courses that are much more affordable. And I work with people on a 3-month basis, much more affordable. And I just shifted my programs, frankly, and my offerings, and that made a big difference.
And has the internet and the growth of all the stuff that everybody does online, has that changed the way you work as well?
What it's changed is, for instance, my publicity course that I do offer in person. Now I also offer it online, and it's still live with me. It's what we're doing right now on Zoom, and they are interactive with me, and it's completely the same course, but now it's live online so that all over the world people can take it with me. I've had people from Australia and New Zealand and England and actually all over the world online with me. So cool, because now they don't have to travel and I don't have to travel, and I have a new way to offer it. That's changed, at least for me, how I offer my courses. I still do it live, and it's an and. So what I love about the way things have evolved is it's opened up new vehicles, new options, particularly Zoom. I love it's opened up new possibilities for teaching. I love that. So that's been wonderful.
Yeah, I love this about the internet, and I think for women at midlife becoming entrepreneurs, it's just become so much more possible with the internet. There's just so many ways of using it. As you know, I'm a therapist as well as being an author and a public speaker, and I work with people using hypnotherapy over Zoom, and sometimes they're a bit surprised, and I say, honestly, it's okay, you're going to be fine.
Yes.
And I've done some great work over Zoom, and reached people who either wouldn't have been able to get to see me or didn't have the time. It's amazing the way you can use this technology.
Yes, I love it, and it's fantastic, and it's powerful. So, I say to all of you out there, how can you be incorporating new technologies with how you work with people? All of my consultants, for instance, I say to them, get on Zoom or Skype with your clients now. Let's see each other face to face. This afternoon, I'm running a consulting mastermind for all the people who are in my consulting program. And what's wonderful, usually I'm working with them one-to-one on Zoom. Now they all get to see each other. And now we create community and tribe. And I think that's great. I think it helps us all to feel closer and get more connected with each other.
I love it, Jill. So this is Pat Duckworth in conversation with Jill Lublin, who's a publicity strategist and a PR expert, and she helps so many authors and public speakers to reach out into the market. So, Jill, what is it that still motivates you about working with small business owners and entrepreneurs?
Well, I love the passion of the entrepreneur and small business owner. I think it's exciting. I am one myself, so I relate to it, and I relate to the people I serve, and frankly have to go through the journey too. And as my coach says to me, because I'm a big believer in investing in myself, of course, too, is it's like I'm a toe ahead of some of my people, right? Yeah. Meaning in the water, right? Because I've done it. I've created 4 best-selling books and run a successful business for years and run a consulting business and teach publicity courses. There's many avenues and parts of what I offer to people that I actually do, and I know how it works. So it keeps me motivated and inspired to keep serving others. I believe I am a messenger of messengers, and that keeps me inspired.
Excellent. And what would you say are the benefits of being an entrepreneur? Because somebody said to me only recently, an entrepreneur is the only person who'd give up a 40-hour-a-week job to do like 100 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, you don't get benefits and paid vacations. I don't know what those are, but I do. The benefits for me are that I get to hang out with my cats and give them kitty hugs, and I call them kitty hug breaks. I really do. I take kitty hug breaks, and I get to eat lunch, with my husband if I'd like, and I take a walk during the middle of the day or perhaps at the end of the day. If I'm really tired on a day, I will go take a nap. And, sometimes that might even mean rescheduling a client, but I just have learned that in taking care of me, I take care of others. And I think most of us still need to learn that. And self-care is really important, and especially as an entrepreneur. So I can manage my energy. I can work more when I want. But I'll tell you, honestly, I stop at, 6 o'clock on the weekdays. And, there's a lot of weekends I do work because I'm either speaking at a conference or going to a conference. On the other hand, for instance, I was just speaking at a conference in Lake Tahoe, California on Monday, Tuesday, and I went up there Saturday, Sunday and hung out in Lake Tahoe. How wonderful is that, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Now, and I think it's really key, at least for me, I'm always looking, how do I make sure that I have my quiet time, my private time, my people time, because I love people. I'm a people person, and I can get carried away in it sometimes. So just making sure I have time in nature, time with my animals, time with myself. How about that one, right? Just quiet Definitely. Time and restful time. So as entrepreneurs, I think all that's really important.
Yeah. So any advice that you'd give to a budding author, an entrepreneur author, is there anything that you think is a really sound piece of advice for how they should approach their book?
Yes, well, I think a couple things. One is that it's really key when you're an author to, number one, start publicity before you ever need it. I think that's really key. I think most people wait way too long. So as a business owner right now, you got to be starting and doing and continuing your publicity. You got to create powerful messages that work in the marketplace. That's important. And that this is not a, oh, I'll do my book, I'll do publicity and we're done. Publicity is ongoing. It's a visibility building activity. It's creation of a powerful message that is your message and that stays consistent in the marketplace. All of that's important.
Yeah, that's just, sound advice there. And for somebody at midlife starting a business, starting on their entrepreneurial journey, any words of wisdom?
Again, I would start with your message. Tune in. Why are you doing this? Making sure that your message is consistent in the marketplace. Making sure that people understand and appreciate what's in it for them. You got to talk to what's in it for them when you're talking to others. That's really a key.
Yeah. And, you're so enthusiastic about what you do. I think that whole bit about finding your motivation, and the other really important point that you just made was that whole thing about finding balance in your life as well, taking time, not just for your business, but for relationships and getting out there in nature, not getting so carried away with the business that you don't do anything else.
Yeah, please. Think of it all. It's a bit of a balancing act. We're often throwing multiple plates in the air. That's part of entrepreneurship. It's all good. Just remember that. And sometimes go take a nap.
I'm so excited you're going to be representing my book at the Frankfurt Book Fair. So hopefully, are you going to stop off in London on the way, or do I get a chance to see you?
Not on this one, but I will be at the London Book Fair next April.
Oh, fantastic. So hopefully we managed to have lunch last year. So, it was dinner in the evening. Perhaps we'll manage another dinner.
I hope so. Of course we will. We'll figure it out.
So Jill, you've mentioned your books. If people watching want to find out more about your books, find out more about you, give us some links so that we can be in contact with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So go to jilllublin.com. That's lots of L's in there. And Pat, I don't know, hopefully you can put some notes on there. Go to jilllublin.com. And also I do teach publicity courses. So check it out at publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. I have a free gift for you, opportunity to hear some great more PR tips. And just let me know you heard me on Pat's show, and then I'll give you a wonderful discount for the publicity course if that's something you'd like to join me on. And for my new book, go check out profitofkindness.com, PROFIT, profitofkindness.com, and lots of great gifts on there for you too.
That's fantastic. So thank you so much for joining me, Jill, and I look forward to the next time that our paths cross and I can spend some time with you.
Thank you, Pat. Me too. Bye-bye, everyone.
So thank you, everyone, for watching, and keep watching out for more of these amazing conversations with entrepreneurs that we can learn so much from. I'll see you next time.